Alrighty, looking at this CyberpowerPC Gaming Supreme Liquid Cooled Gaming PC Intel Core i7 9700K NVIDIA GeForce RTX 2070 Super 16 gigabytes of RAM DDR4 1 terabyte SSD M2 has Wi-Fi and Windows 10 Home. So from the looks of it, it's pretty good. Not a huge fan of only having one spot on top, but that's better than none. That is a lot better than having none. Above all, it's actually quite good. The motherboard's nice. The graphics card it shows is Zotac, but if we scroll down, we can actually see pictures of people's PCs. This guy did a double fan himself for sure. I don't think that it came like that. Really don't feel like reading all that, but he was complaining about the temps, which isn't shocking considering there's only these small little slits and no major holes in the front. It does have SSD holders right there, which is actually quite cool. I've never really seen that. Don't know why they did that. That's a lot of cords. The problem with this that I see is, if physics tells us anything, these fans, unless he's doing a push-pull, I hope that's what it is. Push-pull would be that this one is sucking air in, this is sucking air in, and then it's sucking air, bashing it into here, but I would have preferred to see that up top and an exhaust fan, because if these are both bashing against each other, it's not going to work, and if they're both pushing air out, what's going to happen if this is 1,300 RPM and this is 1,300 RPM, it's going to be 1,300 RPM, making the second fan completely irrelevant because, yeah, it just doesn't work that way. And it would just be pulling air away from the cooler. Basically how a liquid cooler works, in case any of you guys don't know, it's basically like a car radiator, so it pulls a liquid through the radiator. It has basically like a grill where it shoots through all these little lines, cool itself down, goes out through this hose in, swirls the cool water around. As soon as it starts to get hot, it goes back, and then recycle this circuit, and then we'll just keep on doing that. His came with a MSI RTX, which is perfectly good. I actually have that in the 2060. It cools really well. And the cable management isn't awful by any means. It could be way worse. That's XPG RAM, and that is an Asus motherboard, and that is just a generic M2, which nothing's wrong with that. This looks like a different PC entirely, considering it has fans sitting right there, but the original one that we were looking at didn't have fans there. And this is the same review? No, this one's different. Yeah, it's a different review, my bad. So, two different computers. That looks like Team RAM, just by the looks of it, with the slits on top and no point. It's weird that I know computer parts, what they look like, just by looking at an edge of it. But anyways, this thing retails for a whopping... Where's the price? There it is. $1,399. $1,400. So I did a generic PC part builder with the i7, a generic liquid cooler that would probably range at the same quality as the one that CyberPower gives you, also RGB. Went with the MSI Z390 motherboard just because it's just a cheap 390. The one that they have is actually a better motherboard. Well, based on price, performance will be the exact same. They're both the Z390s. And then the Team T-Force RAM at 3,000. The RAM that comes with this is only 2,400, but 2,400 and 3,000 are the same price, so you might as well get the 3,000 and let your CPU, even though it's an Intel, won't get too much of a boost from it, but it helps. And then the 1 terabyte M2, just generic SSD, which is actually quite fast. And then this graphics card is on a back order, but for the price for a 3-fan 2070 Super, $500, I would highly recommend it. Has a backplate, all that good stuff. And then the generic Corsair RGB tower, where it comes with 3 RGB fans at the top. You just have to plug it into the motherboard, and the motherboard does have 2 RGB headers. And then a 600 watt power supply, which is well within its means of its 419 watt. So we do have to add on a couple things because that comes up to 1,382, but we have to keep in mind that this comes with Windows 10 already, and it comes with a generic keyboard and mouse. It's nothing fancy, so I went ahead and got this one. Don't worry about the shipping, that's for me, because I live in Canada. But it's pretty similar quality of mouse that you're going to get with this thing. And the keyboard is RGB, but for 27 bucks, 28 bucks, really good. And then the generic Wi-Fi that most pre-builds come with is just this cheap $10 one. It's plug and play, and then a Windows 10 Home for a whole whopping $4. Actually, it's Professional Edition. So the grand total of the entire PC is $1,424, $1,425 to be exact. You can see the price of the PC, the added keyboard, the added Wi-Fi, and Windows 10. So 1,425 versus 1,399. So you can pretty much see that this is actually not bad. Even dealing with the heat problems that this could have, the sheer fact that it's less money and you don't have to build it yourself. Normally I don't say this about pre-builds, but I'm guessing because of the pandemic, a few of these parts have gone up in price a little, at least $20 here and there, which actually is making this PC that's already sitting around and ready to go well worth it. Which normally I don't ever end the video saying the pre-built is better, but it seems to be going back to 2019 where the pre-builts are actually becoming more affordable, that they're just sitting there ready to go and they've already been bought at the lower cost than the building yourself where you have to pay the extra fees for the pandemic.